I now call to the City Council meeting in the City of Baytown Municipal Development District Joint Meeting on Thursday, May 14th at 6:30 p.m. and announcement of quorum at 6:56 p.m. We will now have the pledge and invocation by the Honorable Council Member, Mrs. Sarah Graham, District Number 2.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. Father God, thank you so much for your grace and your guidance and the many blessings you've given our community. It reminds me, James 1:5 states, if anyone lacks any wisdom, you ask God, who gives generously to us all. In a world filled with challenges and uncertainty, help us remain grounded in faith, united in purpose, and committed to serving others with godly wisdom and compassion. Guide this council and staff to make decisions that bring opportunity to our city. May your mercy guide our hearts and our decisions as we work together for the good of this town. I love you, and I give you all the glory and praise for each moment in the day. And I ask you to please protect our first responders, military, and the leaders that are around our great nation. Keep a hedge of protection around them that only you can provide. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Amen.
Citizen comment. Do we have anyone sign up to speak? Good deal. The purpose of the citizen comment is to give all interested citizens the right to express their views. Everyone desiring to speak should have either signed the appropriate list in the foyer or emailed the city clerk prior to the posted time of this meeting. Each citizen shall give his or her name and address in order to provide a proper record of these comments. The rules allow each person 1 minute to speak. A citizen may pass his or her time to another person who has requested to address the council. However, no citizen's remarks shall exceed the limit of 3 minutes in total. Either the 1 minute or the 3 minute limit may be extended by majority vote of council. I encourage everyone to be as brief to the point in council. Please keep in mind we cannot discuss or deliberate on items for which public notice has not been given on this agenda. We're going to start with Mr. Troy Whiteneck. Please state your address.
Troy Whiteneck, 9946 Bayou Woods Drive, Baytown. Several months ago, City Council came up with something like $500,000 for the Hyatt Regency /5. More recently, you came up with $560,000 for the homeless. And there's a rumor that you're going to buy out the city manager's contract, which will cost taxpayers over $200,000. But you couldn't come up with $150,000 to save a bus route. You've all been playing fast and loose with taxpayer money for much too long. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will have Ms. Azalea Sprecher, and she has time given to her for Mr. David Isaac. Please state your address.
Good evening. Azalea Sprecher, 901 South Main, Baytown, Texas. I'm here today to start a conversation that is long overdue in our town: road safety. I'm concerned and saddened to see social media reports about a 13-year-old girl being hit by a vehicle on Michigan Street just yesterday. However, there's been no official statement released regarding the details of this incident, or I haven't seen it yet. This reminds me of an incident that occurred 2 blocks from my home in Pelley, when my friend and neighbor's 14-year-old son was hit by a vehicle on a public street and thrown off his bike. The driver left the scene and left the child terrified and bruised. That was 1.5 years ago. Unfortunately, it has only gotten worse. Just this week, I myself was forced off the road twice by 2 reckless drivers swerving into my lane. And one of them was a school bus. Every day I see multiple cars and big rigs speed down South Main past Pelley Park with no concern to the posted speed limit of 30 miles per hour. some even drag racing. It's time to hold Baytown drivers to a higher standard. This has to be a collaborative effort that includes the city, Department of Public Safety, Baytown Police Department, and Baytown residents alike. Let's educate our children about pedestrian and roadway safety. Let's patrol our streets and conduct traffic studies where they're needed. But we must demand that drivers in Baytown follow the law, respect speed limits, and yield to pedestrians. We need to drive like our life depends on it. Thank you.
Thank you. There being no one else desiring to speak, this now closes the citizen comment part of this agenda. We now on to 2A, consider approving the minutes of the Joint Municipal Development District and City Council meetings held on February 26, 2026 and March 12, 2026. I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 2B, consider a resolution authorizing an interlocal agreement between the Baytown Municipal Development District and the City of Baytown regarding the administration and funding of economic development incentives through a unified Chapter 380 agreement. Mr. Brian Moran.
Hey, good evening, Mayor, City Council, and MDD directors. This agreement creates a one-stop shop for economic development efforts by allowing the city to negotiate, approve, and administer incentives that the MDD sales and use tax revenues could be used for through a single unified Chapter 380 program. Even though all of you serve on both boards, the city and MDD are two legal separate entities. The ILA allows us to be more efficient in our operations, specifically removing the redundancy to have, resolutions, to be approved by the MDD, ordinances for City Council, as well as two separate agreements for the MDD and City Council. With that, happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments? I need a motion.
Motion to approve item 2B. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Moran. On to 2C. We're going to receive a report from the Hyatt Regency, and we're going to consider Mr. Jason Reynolds.
All right, Mayor and Council, we just did an actual quarter report on the Hyatt. It was all very positive news. The Hyatt has been doing very well. We've been seeing a lot of activity. But I did receive an update. We have our updates from the Hyatt, and it was even more positive than the last meeting. But the biggest thing that I want to bring to the board and to the citizens is that during our meeting, we were informed that the Hyatt has already met the budget revenue goals for the entire year at halfway through the year at this point, and that's fantastic. So if y'all go back to the feasibility study when the council or the MDD and the City Council chose to move forward with the Hyatt, there was going to be a ramp up period, and so that ramp up period took off a little slower than all parties wanted it to. But it is really starting to gain traction at this point, and meeting our revenue goals halfway through the year is a very big accomplishment, and it will taper off a little bit throughout the rest of it's, believe it or not, it's actually slower months in the summer for the hotels, and so it will taper off a little bit, but right now we are projected to exceed our revenue budget for the Hyatt this year, and it's looking very well. Just wanted to give an update, spread the positive news that's happening with the Hyatt.
Good deal. You said that so in other words, we're doing great.
Yes, sir.
Good to hear. We're going to consider that report received and now move on to these council items. We're going to take 3A and B together. Consider approving minutes of the City Council work session held on March 23rd, 2026 and April 9th, 2026, and consider approving the minutes of the City Council meeting held on March 23rd, 2026 and April 9th, 2026. I need a motion.
Motion to approve items 3A and B.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'm going to take a point of privilege, and we're going to move up 6A because we have a special guest here with us today, and I want to stay on this this animal's good side. We're going to consider a resolution authorizing the retirement and transfer of police service dog K9 Hero to his handler, Sergeant Barry Calvert, pursuant to Texas Government Code, Chapter 614, Subchapter L. Mr. Chief Stringer.
Good evening, thank you. As with all canines that reach the end of their career, we are requesting that council retire Canine Hero to his handler, recently promoted Sergeant Barry Calvert. He's had an extremely successful career and has done an incredible job in keeping our citizens safe, but also our officers safe in apprehending criminals, searching for narcotics, and removing bad guys from our streets. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have any comments from council right now?
I have a quick comment, and I know I was going to reserve this to the end with council members' report, but I think the service that our canines do to the community, not just law enforcement, but also community engagement, I think it's a huge testament, and I just appreciate the service of both officers and each one of our canine units, and wish our new canine well in his retirement.
Good deal. Anyone else? Okay, I need a motion.
Motion to approve item 6A.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Well, good luck in your retirement. I don't know if you fish, but whatever you do, do it well and be happy. Thank you. Now we will move back to recognitions and citizen communications. We're going to start off with the month of May as Mental Health Awareness Month. Who am I presenting this to? We don't know? Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll read it from here. Proclamation, City of Baytown Mental Health Awareness Month. Whereas mental health awareness is an essential part of overall health and well-being, affecting how individuals think, feel, act, and interact with their families, workplaces, schools, and communities. And whereas millions of people across the nation and around the world experience mental health conditions each year, yet stigma, misunderstanding, and barriers to care often prevent individuals from seeking the support and treatment they need. And whereas promoting mental health awareness, encouraging open conversations, and improving access to resources can help individuals thrive emotionally, mentally, and socially while fostering a more compassionate and supportive community. And whereas access to quality health services, early intervention, education, and community support are vital to ensuring that all individuals have the opportunity to thrive emotionally, mentally, and socially, thereby improving all quality of life. And whereas the month of May has been recognized nationally as Mental Health Awareness Month since 1949 and promotes the importance of mental health by providing an opportunity to raise awareness, combat stigma, and promote mental health resources. Now, therefore, I, Charles Johnson, do hereby proclaim May of 2026 as Mental Health Awareness Month and encourage all individuals in the city to recognize the importance of mental health, support those experiencing mental health challenges, and help foster a community of understanding, acceptance, and hope. Now we will move on to present a proclamation designating the month of May as Building Safety Month. Mr. Martin Scribner. We should have had Mr. Havner here for that. Well, you didn't want to explain it? Huh? Well, without you guys, I would imagine we probably have buildings falling down on us.
That's absolutely true. This is really to bring awareness to not only building safety, but the professionals who ensure that we as a city are making sure that things are safe and that things are being built at safe standards.
Proclamation, City of Baytown, National Building Safety Month. Whereas building safety affects every aspect of daily life, including the places where people live, work, and gather, and is essential to protecting the health, safety, and welfare of the community. And whereas modern building codes and safety standards help safeguard residents and businesses from hazards such as fire, severe weather, structural failure, and other emergencies while promoting resilience, sustainability, and economic stability. And whereas Building Safety Month is an international campaign celebrated each May to raise awareness about the importance of safe and substantial construction, the adoption of modern building codes, and the critical role of code officials, inspectors, engineers, architects, builders, and trade professionals in ensuring public safety. And whereas the City of Baytown recognizes the dedicated efforts of building safety professionals who work year-round to ensure that homes, businesses, schools, and public facilities meet the highest standards of safety and compliance for the benefit of all residents. And whereas Building Safety Month serves as an opportunity to educate the public on disaster preparedness, safe construction practices, and the value of maintaining strong building safety programs that contribute to a resilient and thriving community. Now, therefore, I, Charles Johnson, Mayor of Baytown, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2026 as National Building Safety Month in Baytown and encourage all individuals to recognize the importance of building safety and support the efforts that protect lives, strengthen neighborhoods, and promote a safer and more resilient community. It says that we have programs and we did some things. What things did we do to inform the public?
I think we inform the public every day.
Every day, so
Every
nothing
day.
special. Good deal. Can we come down and join us for this picture?
Every day in every way. Every day,
Every day in every way.
I'm gonna have RJ send it. Yeah.
It's gonna make me look even shorter.
I could.
No,
You sure?
I'm positive.
Do we need to swap shoes today?
I don't think you're big enough for that.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Get one more. Okay, perfect.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I know how you
Appreciate it.
understand this, sir.
Thank you.
Proclamation designating May 4th through 8th as Economic Development Week. I will say this about our Economic Development Department here at the city. How long have we had this department here in the city, Jason?
A little bit before my time, so I would venture to guess about 6 to 8 years at this point, Mayor.
6 to 8 years. I was going to think 7. And I can tell you what, since they've been on the job, they've done a lot for our city when it comes to economic development, the businesses that we have here, the amount of development that we have being put on the ground, and not only with big box stores, but I see them at ribbon cuttings, encouraging, giving a card out, and asking for communication to start between them and small businesses. And I know that was something that Councilman Alvarado was really advocating for, and you all are doing a great job with this. I'm also going to say that part of this team, someone has been selected as one of the 40 most influential individuals under 40 here by the Baytown Sun. Who was that? Yes, let's give her a round of applause. That's impressive. So we have influential people working here in the city. Thank you for for what you do. Proclamation City of Baytown Economic Development Week, whereas more than 100,000 economic development and related professionals around the world are dedicated to fostering, retaining, and expanding high-quality opportunities that support long-term and equitable community growth, and whereas the field of economic development strengthens neighborhoods, encourages sustainability and resilience, advances prosperity, and improves the overall quality of life for residents, the professionals serve in a variety of environments, including rural and urban communities, public and private organizations, chambers of commerce, partnerships, and educational institutions, and whereas economic development professionals act as connectors among community stakeholders, including residents, business leaders, elected officials, industry representatives, and educational leaders, to advance collaboration to promote job creation, investment, infrastructure improvement, and a strong future for all, and whereas economic developers play a vital role in the continued growth and success of Baytown by supporting initiatives that create opportunity and strengthen local prosperity. Since 1926, the International Economic Development Council has served as a global leader in advancing economic development through its commitment to innovation, sustainability, resilience, equity, and inclusion in communities of every size. Now, therefore, I, Charles Johnson, Mayor of Baytown, do hereby proclaim May 4th through 8th, 2026 as Economic Development Week, and I encourage all residents to recognize the importance of economic development in creating opportunity, enhancing quality of life, and supporting a prosperous future for our community. Now, I'm going to ask you, what do we have coming to Baytown? But you don't have to answer that. I just want people to tune in and have their ears perked up, but I know that you all have a lot of things on the books coming in here, but thank you for everything that you do. Nice.
Here we go. Do three. We go. 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Jason, you got something behind you. Sorry. Good picture.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you and congratulations. Brian. You're the man. You're the man.
Thank you so much.
Right here, right. Proclamation designating May 10th through the 16th as National Police Week. Proclamation City of Baytown National Police Week, whereas the City of Baytown proudly recognizes National Police Week, observed May 10th through 16th, as a time to honor the dedicated men and women of law enforcement who serve and protect our community each day. Their commitment to safeguarding lives and maintaining public order is essential to the well-being of our residents, and whereas law enforcement officers in Baytown demonstrate courage, integrity, and professionalism in the face of daily challenges, they work tirelessly to build trust, foster relationships, and ensure that our neighborhoods remain safe and secure places to live and work. And whereas the City of Baytown also recognizes the invaluable support provided by families of law enforcement officers, their strength, sacrifice, and unwavering encouragement make it possible for officers to carry out their duties with dedication and honor. And whereas it is fitting that we, as a community, come together to express our gratitude and appreciation for the service and sacrifice of our law enforcement personnel, National Police Week provides an opportunity to strengthen community partnerships and reaffirm our shared commitment to public safety. Now, therefore, I, Charles Johnson, Mayor of Baytown, do hereby proclaim May 10th through 16th, 2026 as National Police Week in the City of Baytown, and encourage all individuals to join me in honoring our law enforcement officers for their service, dedication, and sacrifice. Thank you.
right. All right, here we go. Come on. Yeah, that, oh, almost.
Just hold your hand up.
Yeah. Hold my hand up here.
Nope.
Try it. I'm getting as many as possible. I'll do one more. Oh, that's even better. I love that one.
Oh, you did too.
Thank you.
He's like, I'm retired. I'm gonna do it.
He's retired. He doesn't have to.
Thank you much. Thank you. Thank you for taking on the responsibility. Great. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Dogs at home.
Chief, for shorts?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, officer.
You smell happy and encouraged, you know?
Yes, sir. Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Now we're going to present a proclamation for National Public Works Week. Whereas public work professionals provide essential services that protect the health, safety, and quality of life of the residents of Baytown through the maintenance and operation of streets, drainage systems, water and wastewater utilities, public facilities, and infrastructure. And whereas the dedicated employees of the City of Baytown Public Works Department work diligently each day to ensure reliable public services, respond to emergencies, and support the continued growth and development of our community. And whereas public works infrastructure and services are vital to the economic vitality, environmental sustainability, and overall well-being of the City of Baytown and its residents. And whereas National Public Works Week serves as an opportunity to recognize the hard work, professionalism, and commitment of public works employees, and to increase public awareness of the importance of public infrastructure and services. And whereas the City of Baytown joins communities across the nation in celebrating National Public Works Week and honors the contributions of all public works professionals who serve our community with dedication and pride. Now, therefore, I, Charles Johnson, Mayor of Baytown, do hereby proclaim May 17th through the 23rd as National Public Works Week in the City of Baytown, and encourage all individuals to recognize and appreciate the value contributions made by public works professionals in maintaining and improving our community.
Look to make sure y'all are all right. All right, here we go. One. Three. Do one more. Perfect.
What's your photographer?
Gosh, don't we all have one in the Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Easy, thank you, sir.
Now, our last one for the evening, National Emergency Medical Services Week. Whereas medical emergency services, EMS, personnel provide a vital link in the continuum of care within the City of Baytown, delivering rapid, skilled medical response that protects the health and safety of our residents. And whereas EMS professionals are often the first point of contact in times of crisis, offering compassionate, life-saving care in homes, workplaces, and on roadways throughout our community. And whereas the scope of emergency medical services extends beyond emergency response to include public education, injury prevention, community outreach, and coordination with hospitals and healthcare systems. And whereas EMS providers dedicate countless hours to advanced training, certification, and continuing education to maintain the highest standards of patient care. And whereas National EMS Week offers a meaningful opportunity to honor the dedication and essential contributions of EMS professionals and to recognize their impact on the well-being of our community. Now, therefore, I, Charles Johnson, Mayor of Baytown, do hereby proclaim May 17th through the 23rd, 2026 as National Emergency Medical Services Week in the City of Baytown, and encourage all individuals to join me in recognizing the invaluable service of EMS personnel through appropriate ceremonies, activities, and expressions of appreciation.
Need y'all to back up. Underneath the microphone. The microphone's a secret spot. There you go. Perfect. I would want that to be saved as a trap door. Here we go. Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Five A, consider an ordinance authorizing a Chapter 380 Economic Development Agreement between the City of Baytown and Walgreens Company, or Co., for a business retention incentive at 1515 North Alexander Drive. Mr. Brian Moran.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and City Council, tonight for your consideration is the first of two Chapter 380 agreements. The first one is with Walgreens regarding their business located at 1515 North Alexander. This item specifically is pertaining to a business retention initiative. In August of 2025, Sycamore Partners, which is a private equity firm, purchased Walgreens. Following the acquisition of Walgreens, the company began aggressively going through a restructuring of all their stores across the country, targeting many of these for possible closure. The location on Alexander was a candidate for a future round of closures, which we were made aware of. To prevent that possible loss of the retail anchor at that location, we're recommending the following, which is a 5-year sales tax rebate, where a portion of the revenue generated at that location will be returned back to Walgreens. The city would rebate a portion of the city's 1%. Local sales tax capped at $12,000 annually. The MDD would also contribute in this initiative with a portion of its 0.5% capped at $6,000 annually for a total combined cap not to exceed $90,000 during the 5 years term. These rebates are only issued if Walgreens continues to operate as a pharmacy and retail store. They have to also maintain their existing full-time employment headcount, which is 10 people. They also have to remain current on all taxes, and they have to submit their annual compliance report. If at any point during the term of this agreement, Walgreens either ceases operations or their employment count dips below the 10 full-time employees, they must pay back any rebates received to the city. With that, happy to answer any questions.
Anything? Yes, ma'am.
Just a comment, and I appreciate y'all doing this. I think one of the things that we've really been looking at is retention. Unfortunately, we couldn't save the one at Park and Garth, but thanks to all of y'all who worked quickly to ensure that we looked at the other Walgreens, because that's another empty storefront. We never refilled after CVS across the street on Park. That used to be an Eckert's. And so I just want to thank y'all for jumping on that and looking at a retention model for other businesses as well. So thank you.
Anyone else? Good deal. I need a motion.
Motion to approve item 5A.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 5B, consider an ordinance authorizing a Chapter 380 Economic Development Agreement between the City of Baytown and Fish Camp Properties Baytown, Inc. Mr. Moran.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. As you mentioned, this is the second economic development agreement. This is with Fish Camp Properties for their new Tijuanitas, which will be located at 8701 Chambers Common Drive. Over the last year, probably year and a half, the economic development team has been working with Tijuanitas, and we're pleased that this agreement has really helped secure Baytown for their first new built ground up restaurant located in Baytown over possibly another community to our east. This project represents a $10 million investment in a new 13,500 square foot restaurant. To give you an idea as to the scale of the restaurant, a typical Cheesecake Factory is 10 to 12,000 square feet. This restaurant will include 5,000 square foot kitchen, 1,000 square foot open concept bar and oyster grill. They'll also be able to accommodate about 430 guests in the space. There also would be there also will be a private dining area that can accommodate 50 guests, as well as an elevated stage for live entertainment. In addition to the investment, the company is also willing to commit to create and retain 70 full-time employees. Before the company can begin receiving any of these incentives, they do have to meet certain performance requirements. This includes completing and documenting their $10 million investment, maintaining at least a $6 million taxable value on their property, creating and retaining the 70 FTEs during the 5-year term, and they also have to begin operations by August of 2027. From the city side, we have structured this as a performance-based agreement, so any rebates that are provided have to be or will be provided after staff have reviewed and verified their supporting documentation within their annual compliance report. So the proposed incentives include a property tax rebate, which is capped at $43,000 annually, which only applies to the new added value created. The city will continue receiving the property tax payments based on the pre-construction value. They're also eligible to receive a portion of the 50% of the city's 1% sales tax, which is capped at $35,000 annually. And they're also eligible to receive a one-time rebate on sales tax for any eligible items related to construction and building materials, as well as any equipment that's purchased either in Baytown or through a direct pay permit through the comptroller's office. So the total proposed rebates for the term of the agreement are capped at $430,000 over the 5-year period, which means that for every $1 that the city rebates, the company is going to invest a little over $23 in private capital. We also have Ms. Sinclair Lamp, who is the president and CEO of Tijuanitas, and she's here and available to answer any questions that you might specifically have about the restaurant, its operations, or its history. And if you have any questions pertaining to the agreement itself, I'm more than happy to answer those. And here's also a visual rendering.
That was a big fish count.
Mm-hmm.
Any comments, questions?
No.
None? Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
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 Exciting.
Good job. Good job, man. Where's this going again?
This is off of Chambers Common Drive, off of 146 and 10.
Baytown.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted people to hear that.
Yeah. Welcome, Tio Marias. I'm looking forward to it being completed. So up and running.
Okay, good.
Make a motion, we approve item 5B.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we're on to 6B. Consider a resolution determining the alternative delivery method for the construction of the ExxonMobil Baytown Event Center and associated facility and site improvements, and authorizing the issuance of a request for construction manager at risk proposals. Mr. Scott Lamont.
I think Juan's gonna handle it for you, council. Yep.
Well, I'm just saying I got Scott here as my
Good evening, Council and Mayor. Juan Macias with Public Works and Engineering. So the purpose of this resolution is to allow the alternative delivery method for the ExxonMobil Baytown Event Center for the CMAR, Construction Manager at Risk. There are some benefits with larger projects to using a CMAR. It allows the construction manager to provide input during the design phase, and it also allows better control of the schedule and the pricing for the project. And I'll hand it over to Scott in case he wants to add any other items.
I'm here to answer any questions if you have.
Anything? Nothing? Good deal. I need a motion.
Motion to approve item 6B.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion carries. We are on to consent agenda items. Anyone wish to pull any item?
Pull B just for comment.
Okay. Any others? Good deal. I need a motion.
Motion to approve items 7A through P excluding B.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are going to take B, consider an ordinance authorizing an elevation project agreement with homeowners to issue payment to pre-approved elevation contractors through FY 2022 Flood Mitigation Assistance Grant issued by FEMA and administered by the Texas Water Development Board.
Mayor, thanks for letting me pull this. This is a couple of homes in my district actually are participating in this FEMA grant. It was brought to our attention by our city manager in 22-23. It was open citywide, but my two neighbors basically stuck it out. I mean, it was a lot of paperwork, a lot of effort, and going through it. And these are slab foundation homes. I don't know if you had a chance to go by and look at it.
Yeah.
But the one that's in process right now is about 9 foot up in the air, and I was teasing them the other day that they now have a tree house because their house is taller than their trees out front now. It's amazing that they've done this, and they did it in 2 stages. The first lift was about 4.5 to 5 foot. They came in and did some foundation work, and then they raised it up recently to the full 9.5 feet base elevation. This is significant, and I would encourage folks as we move forward through this year, if the grant becomes available again, we have a number of homes in Baytown that could qualify, and it's a lengthy process, but it's showing that it's getting done, and I'm glad to hear we're going to have a light hurricane season, but my neighbors will be able to fish off their porch if we have a flood, because we can now see them across the street and we look under their house. It's amazing. So I just wanted to bring attention to it. Good effort on staff to get through this. This is kind of just the logistics as we're moving through to get this done. Again, hopefully this will be another good story for the citizens of Baytown and for the city, and then look forward to assisting other homeowners in the future to have access to this grant. So I'll move to approve 7B.
I just had a quick question.
Yes.
Is there a plan for the city to make this available, to put that information out to?
Yes, sir. We've, to Mr. Lester's point, when this started back in 2022, I believe we started in 22, we put it out. We had interest from Lakewood, and we had interest from Kilgore, and a few others close to the Roseland Park area. And people did apply. There are 3 different levels of funding for this. There's a 75%, a 90%, and 100%. Mr. Lester's neighbors received the 100% grant. Some of the homes in Lakewood that wanted to move forward, they only were qualifying for the 75% grant. And so this project costs roughly $300,000 to $400,000 to lift the home out of the air. And so the homeowner has to have roughly $100,000 to be able to do that project. But it does negate any kind of flood insurance, and it lowers your home insurance premiums drastically. And typically they qualify for grants to help offset that loan amount to offset the home insurance costs. But yes, we intend to push it out for the rest of the community and for people to apply. It just takes it takes some time for people to make sure it's not some quirky thing. And so when I was working with Mr. Lester's neighbors, I had previously done 75 homes before, and so I was able to give them examples. They went and toured those homes and saw that it was not anything crazy. I mean, it's crazy to see because you're just lifting a house out of the ground, but they saw that it was a structural process, and they felt forward. They were the only two that wanted to move forward in that process at the time, but we hope now that they see it in Baytown that they apply again in the future.
And I want to thank Mr. Lester for pulling this up and kind of bringing attention to that because, you know, the first thing I heard, you know, before Lakewood was even mentioned, you know, there's a lot of houses there that could benefit from this. So, really excited about this coming, and I wrote thanks to staff to making this happen and, you know, potentially saving those houses in the future. I know a lot of my friends and Ike moved because their house wasn't elevated and they lost everything, and quality people, you know, no longer live in our city because of the effects of our hurricanes. So kudos to staff and thank you, Mr. Lester, for bringing this out to speak about.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Lester, congratulations to your neighbors. I know this has been a tedious process. I know one of my residents qualified as well, but they felt it was going to be too much of a long shot, and they just didn't want to go through that. But I think this is a lesson to be had as well. And what I would look for is kind of like, you know, any of the I don't know, Q&As or FAQs, whatever may have come out of this process that we can share with those residents that had qualified in the past. Because I mention it to them all the time, and it's like definitely a missed opportunity, but it can still happen if they actually go through the process. So
The paperwork is daunting.
Yeah.
Both my neighbors at different points in the process thought, I'm just going to give up. And between Jason and myself visiting with them, it's like, no, yeah, just bear with it. And so it was rewarding to see the house. Again, I didn't know you could lift a house with slab foundation, and the people that did it said, oh, it's no problem. And it's not a problem. It was interesting to watch, but the paperwork is daunting, but there is light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully, again, we can use these two houses as examples to encourage those in the future and again, the requirements, FEMA requirements are extensive, but to get some more folks elevated up and really take advantage of the federal program.
right, and there's also funding through the General Land Office, the GLO, because we've had a number of homes reconstructed throughout my district. And my neighbor, I always joke with him all the time, and I'm like, when it's windy, I hear your house whistling. And so, but I think it was very much needed. They completely reconstructed his home, even added a ramp. And so I think those two programs, as much as we can share that out to our community, I think it would be very beneficial. Thank you.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we are on to appointments. Consider the confirmation of the city manager's appointment of the Director of Public Works and Engineering.
Mayor and Council, I would like to introduce Miss Carol Haddock. If you don't mind, entertain this for a minute. Carol, it's a blessing to have her, and I'm happy that she endured this very long process, interview process, and meeting with staff, meeting with the team, having people that she worked with before, already here in Baytown, and knowing her and speaking highly of her, and we look forward to having you here and bringing your wealth of experience to Baytown and everything that you can help us grow, get the infrastructure planned out, work with us on the SSO, because I know that you've done that before as well. And I consider us very fortunate to have her join our team. And with that, I just want to say thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Are there any questions?
Yeah, I just want to say your reputation precedes you. I've been to a few events between Baytown and Houston, and whenever your name was brought up, it was nothing but amazing, wonderful things being said. And Jason, I'm going to echo everything you just said. I think it's we are blessed to have you in this position with our city. Yes, ma'am. Anything else?
Welcome to Baytown.
Yeah, now get to work.
Get to work.
He's getting to see Baytown as well.
It will.
Good deal. Well, I need a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right.
Y'all better smile back here.
I know.
Excellent. Now we're on to the manager's report, Mr. Jason Reynolds.
All right, Mayor and Council, thank you. During a Featherfest field trip at the Baytown Nature Center, Parks and Rec staff assisted in rescuing a bird entangled in fishing line. Gina Faith, Megan Morris, Luis Mendoza, Aaron Sickle, and Abel Carmona demonstrated outstanding teamwork and commitment to wildlife stewardship during the rescue effort. Thank you to these staff members for their quick response and dedication to protecting the natural resources and wildlife of the Baytown Nature Center. Now, I'm going to pause there for a second. That is a very watered down summary of what happened. I don't remember where I was when I heard this story, but I was told, you know, they were doing everything possible. They were putting themselves in somewhat of a precarious situation just to try to go rescue this bird. And you see them in this photo here out in the water. And I just want to take a minute to, I do recognize the verbiage that we have here, but it was way more than that. And it shows the commitment from our staff for what they're doing for the wildlife and to preserve the animals out in the Nature Center. And so I really do appreciate what they've done, and because they are putting themselves in danger in some instances to try to make this happen. And just want to say a big thank you to the team. All right. Michaela Farabee has been named GHC 911 Rookie of the Year for her professionalism, growth, and strong performance in emergency communications since joining in April 2025. She has shown composure and reliability while handling high-pressure incidents and is being recognized for her dedication and service to the community. Congratulations, Michaela, and keep up the great work. So, John, please pass that on. Jail Staff Sergeant Bruno recently completed the FBI LEDA Trilogy. My goodness, FBI LEDA Trilogy. Like all that together, huh? All right. A 120-hour FBI-developed leadership program for law enforcement and support personnel. This achievement reflects a strong commitment to professional growth, hard work, and continued development in support of the department's mission. Great job, Sergeant Bruno. John, please pass that on. The utility team took second place at the State Water Conference utility competition. Our crews performed timed activities, including pipe cutting, line taps, and equipment assembly. Proud of you all for that win for Baytown, and great photo. Good pick. All right, Sterling Beaver presented at Texas Water Conference on city's long-term resiliency plan for water and wastewater plants, and this is a great photo of him. I will tell you, Sterling is instrumental to our water and wastewater system, and he has a wealth of knowledge, and I'm happy to see that he's out there sharing it with others around the state. So great job presenting at the city, and Carol, please pass that on to Sterling as well. Congratulations to Jared Thibodeau, our engineering survey and GPS coordinator, on earning his bachelor's degree this May. Love to see the continued education, and also happy to see it by the trees. Oh, great job with the bridge in the background. There you go. All right, I do want to thank, oh, I have one more. PWE team, oh man, I'm sorry. My bad. Okay. I do want to tell everybody thank you. We had our employee appreciation luncheon last week. Great turnout. And because I didn't get to say his name today, Leonard Graham was also at the employee appreciation.
Oh, wow.
And he had a good time as well. So, but
that's a good one.
I thank everybody for
That is a good one.
for showing up, having a good time, supporting each other, and just really loving Baytown. And you can see that the love and support for each other is then passed down to the community. And I really enjoyed the event as well. And thanks for all the employees for what you do day in and day out. Mayor and Council, that's all I have.
Okay, now we will have the council member district report from the Honorable Mrs. Sarah Graham, District 2.
I don't know what all staff went into planning that celebration, but it was really neat. I was going to take some pointers from some of the things you did to carry over to some of the kids events that I plan over at the high school. It was neat, all the things that y'all had out at the celebration. You did a good job honoring all the staff members. Okay, lots going on over at District 2. I think I'm going to start, though, with the Baytown Optimists hosted their Southeast Regional Conference right over here on Market Street. And they had club members from El Paso, Waco, Austin, the list goes on, Huntsville, Laredo, Fredericksburg. But Ms. Alvarado, will you tell us a little bit about that event and why it was so special?
So the Baytown Optimist is right up the road, best kept secret, I think, because we're a small but mighty group. Actually, 3 of us are on the membership roster. And so this conference just brought together all of the different service clubs to really talk about what we're doing in each other's communities. We also held our oratorical contest where students across our region performed and recited an essay that they wrote. And it's actually a contest where they win regionally, then they go to state, then they go to the country, and then the winner out of the country one goes to compete globally. Because Optimist is an international organization, so they have that opportunity to compete internationally, and then they can, I believe the highest amount of scholarship monies they can get is about maybe $25,000. I could be wrong, but that's what they would get up to that. But we just welcomed all of the groups that came. Some of them even went to visit the Wetland Center, our amazing park system, and some of the members even asked, how does Baytown do it to have such an amazing park system and the wetlands and nature center and all of that? And I just attributed to staff and our parks department, even communications, to get the word out there about our park system and wetlands. And I think y'all have been doing an amazing job, and each one of these that came in from out of town got to experience what we have here. And so I just appreciate all of y'all. And then we did get a special guest that came in our K-9 unit. Our officers came in to do a demonstration, and that was also a treat for all of the members. So thank you for allowing me to provide information about the conference. So,
and thanks to the Optimists for staying so involved in our community. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. Some other things going on. We've got lots of new business development in District 2, which is great. We have the Bay Terrace Apartments over off Nolan. They're still doing renovations. The Pause and Go fuel station is going to be demolishing and reconstructing. Kind of goes along with some things we discussed today. Another exciting thing is Venue 132 will be at 132 West Texas. So I look forward to seeing what they're going to offer at that new business. And then Asheville Smith Elementary is actually going to be putting a shade structure over their playground, which our Parks Department has been putting those in for a while now. So it's good to see that right there in District 2, the school district's jumping on board with those. Good news for anyone that drives over by Texas Avenue and you've been dealing with a lot of the construction. The West Texas Avenue Drainage Project, the contractor did complete all the paver installations for the project. They've installed the benches, the light poles, the aesthetic stuff, trash can installations currently in progress. And they do plan to open up West Texas to the flow of traffic. I can report that today I drove all the way down West Texas. However, they're still finishing up some stuff over off of Deefy, so still a little bit of things going on over there. Town Square hosted the Dollar Taco Night on May 3rd. We called in the most amazing weather, and because of that, there was a large crowd there. 7 taco vendors, live entertainment, family activities, and hitting some piñatas. Lots going on out there, lots of long taco lines. But I wanted to say the first time competitor Taqueria Amor, they actually won the taco competition, so congratulations to them. And we really enjoyed having all the local vendors out there. It was a good day. Back to Eddie Gray Wetland Center. They distributed 2,000 native trees on Arbor Day. If you happen to drive down Market Street that morning, I was on my way to work and I did not know what was going on. The traffic was backed up in both directions. They were giving away trees. So that actually is continuing Baytown's initiative of being a Baytown's Bird City efforts. So thought that was neat. And community volunteers participated in the Goose Creek Park and Trail cleanup all the way through April, collecting more than 50 bags of trash and debris. And volunteers also took part in the iNaturalist environmental training during cleanup efforts. If you like going outdoors, I recommend downloading the iNaturalist app. It can look up all kinds of cool things about anything you see that you want to know about. Bicentennial Park, right in the heart of District 2, is going to host Juneteenth on June 13th. And if you want to know all about the entertainment and the other neat items that are going to go on that day, there's going to be some historical events and other things tied to Juneteenth. Check that out on the Baytown Parks website or on, I see a lot of the stuff on Facebook. It's easy to access there. That's on June 13th. And then, of course, Baytown will be celebrating the 250th anniversary of our country on July 4th. We're going to have live entertainment, family activities. But I want to talk a little bit about some of the new items. They're going to do a apple pie contest, apple pie eating contest. They're going to have a children's wagon parade. The Parks Department, along with some other people that are involved in our community, are really trying to amp up the celebration for the 250 years of our country. And I even saw that P2 is going to be hosting an AmRamp challenge that just sounds horrendous, but I thought Councilman Powell could get involved since he likes to run. They're gonna challenge people to run between 2 and 4 o'clock as many laps as they can on July 4th. But there is a monetary prize involved. But anyways, check that out.
Not from the city.
Yeah,
Not from the city.
Not from the city. Not from the city. I just wanted to mention there's some. I said there was other entities getting involved.
Yes.
But it's going to be very hot. It's an endurance challenge. Yeah, the American Mile.
Well, we used to have the heat. What was it?
The heat wave.
The heat wave.
This is something totally different. I was wow. But anyways, all right. Finally, the ACE District's Baytown Sculpture Trail recently unveiled its 26-27 collection down at Town Square. The exhibit features 25 sculptures from artists all across the U.S., and it will remain on display until next March. Continuing our support of arts and tourism down in our arts district. And, I know what else. I felt like D2 won the repaving asphalt award. I don't know what is going on in District 2, but thank you so much to whatever department. I guess it's Public Works or Streets. I feel like every street has been repaved in D2. I mean, Beaumont, Gulf, Pruitt, Deefy, everywhere I turn, it just...
Kevin Harville came just to hear that.
Yes. Thank you. I have had so many positive emails and phone calls. I mean, everybody's just excited about that. We feel like we're on the new side of town. So, anyways, so Yeah. So thank you for all those efforts because it really has changed a lot of the roadways on that side, and it was done so quickly. I feel like I don't know, an award should go out for that. It was awesome, Mayor. But thank you to everyone involved in making D2 a wonderful place to live, and I appreciate Azalea coming to speak tonight and point out some things that we need to work on, and I took note of that.
Mayor, can I have an alibi for the manager's report, if you don't mind?
An alibi?
The do-over. Can I have one
Go
more
ahead, go
statement?
right on ahead.
An extra moment.
Go ahead.
All right. I want to address something because it's been talked about heavily since the city manager thing is on the executive session. I want to make it very clear because I have employees here. I have people that are paying attention. I am not being bought out. All right. I love Baytown. I've had a good time in Baytown. I live in Baytown. It's noise, and I need people to understand that it's noise. I feel all of us have a very good rapport. We've had a great time accomplishing the things that we have. There's a fantastic team that supports this city day in and day out, and I really love working with them. And I just want to make it very clear so that people understand the noise is noise. We don't need to pay attention to it. And we have great people that are doing great things for Baytown, and I look forward to fulfilling my contract.
Good deal, that's it?
That's it, Mayor.
Okay, well, now for the good stuff. Oh, this is even better.
This allows them to keep his
If
library
it's about
card.
the library, that's a District 2 also. So
That's,
go for it.
there you go, and that's what it's about.
This allows him to keep his library card.
This allows me to keep my library card and not rack up an unseen amount of overdue fees. Oh, so we're going to pick up, what's today, the 14th? We're going to pick up with what's going on the 15th, which is nothing. And we're going to move right along to the 18th at 10:30 a.m. Everybody's favorite, baby time. That's right. 5 p.m., Tween Story Explorers. On the 19th, 10:30 a.m., pre-K story time. At 6 p.m., Teen Game Night, Super Mario Party. I used to play that back in the 1900s. Yeah. That wasn't that long ago.
Getting longer and longer.
Oh, man. May the 20th, 10:30 and 11:30 a.m. bilingual story time. Is that in French and Spanish, or is it just in Spanish? Spanish and English? Are we going to start doing French or another language sometime? That would be nice. Just saying. On the 21st, 10:30 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. toddler time. 5:30 p.m. lighted flower bloom craft for adults. I wonder what that's like. On the 22nd, teen volunteer sign-up closes. Monday, the 25th, the library is closed, so don't show up on that day. On the 26th, 10:30 a.m., pre-K story time. 6 p.m., teen story bites. 10:30 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. on the 27th, bilingual story time. 2 p.m., summer reading kickoff. 5 p.m., 3D printing and VR, virtual reality. We didn't have that in the 1900s. On the 28th, 10:30 a.m. and 11:30 a.m., toddler time. And on Saturday the 30th, spring fling with the book ends. So you have something going on 90% of the rest of this month at our library in District 2. Please take some time, go visit, bring a friend, come by and check out our library. And I'm pretty sure if you were to do that, if it was your first time, I can guarantee it probably will not be your last time. We have something going on from babies to tweens to adults, all within the last 3 weeks or the last two and a half weeks of this month. some of the best things happening in Baytown is happening in our library. That being said, we are now going to recess into executive session pursuant of Texas Government Code 551.074 to discuss personal matters regarding the city manager, 551.071 to seek the advice of the city attorneys, and 551.072 and or 551.087 to deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property and or to deliberate regarding economic development negotiations. I now reconvene our open meeting of the Baytown City Council at 9:26 p.m. and announce that in accordance with Section 551.102 of the Texas Government Code, no action was taken in executive session. Having exhausted everything on this agenda, I now adjourn this meeting at 9:26 p.m.